Hello YouTube, we're back here with a hook'em and cook'em, and today I'm tying one of my favorite sculpin patterns, the pine squirrel sculpin. Here's the materials, pause the video if you need. Okay, to start off, you're going to take olive thread in whatever denier you would like, and wrap down to about 1/3 of the hook shank. Grab micro pine squirrel zonkers, preferably in the olive color, but you can do brown or any other dark color that matches the environment that you're going to be fishing in. Pull any loose hairs out of the tip of the zonker strip and tie it down, still about 1/3 of the hook shank in. Now, since you've tied that in, you're going to wet your fingers and pull up the hairs so you can see where you can place your thread next. Now part the zonker hairs right at the bend of the hook to cover the full length of the body. Then pull up your zonker strip and wrap all the way down to the bend of the hook. And tie in that little spot that you just made. Now when you are tying down the zonker strip, make sure you cinch that line because you don't want this coming down, trust me. Now cut off the tail about half the length of the hook shank. Now, I like adding a little tapered edge to the tail. You don't need to, but I think it looks better. Now you start building up the head of the fly. Remember, you can build this up pretty much as much as you want because there's going to be a lot of room with this big sculpin helmet. Now take the extra zonker strip from the tail and tie it onto the side. This just gives it a more fuller body. If you really want to, you can tie dubbing in under the belly, but I didn't do that in this fly. Now once you do that, you can cut it off about all the way to the bend of the hook and tie on the second side. This is optional, but with the buildup of thread of me tying on both of these sides, you can add glue. It would add to the durability. Now cut off the zonker strip on my side the same length as you did on the side that's facing you guys. Brush everything back and make sure everything's kind of in order, and now you're going to take the rest and put it away because that's probably going to be what's left, and you're going to wrap just a smoother head. Now grab whatever dubbing you want. It can be any color, but I'd prefer you to match it with whatever the body is. I like doing lighter, so I chose the lighter one, and plus I love the brand MFC. This says it's dark olive. It really isn't. It's more like a light peacock olive, but I'm still using it. If you do not know how to do a dubbing loop, then skip that part and just make a good dubbing noodle. But I did a dubbing loop, as you can see down there, and spin it until it gets a lot of bristles sticking out of the side. But if you do not know what a dubbing loop is, I would recommend you search it up because it is something you would love to use on anything: leeches, woolly buggers, sculpins. Okay, so now I'm going to keep spinning this until I see a lot of bristles sticking out, like I said, and take my wire brush and kind of brush out all the loose ones. Now you can pull all these bristles to one side and start wrapping the head all the way to the thread. Now start wrapping a prominent head on the front of your fly, and if you would like, take a little stretch like I did. But wrap this head prominently so you can fit that little helmet on there, because it is nice to have a firm grip with your glue. And a warning is these heads and these eyes for the heads do fall off. Okay, so brush your zonker strips out and get all the loose fibers out of the dubbing loop that you just made, and keep wrapping. Keep wrapping until you think that's a pretty good head, and then take your little helmets. Now I'm using these mini sculpin helmets. They're by Fish Skull. These are the only really sculpin helmets I have ever used, but they do come with eyes, which is nice because some sculpin helmets will not come with the eyes and you have to go buy them separately, which is honestly just a pain in the butt. Okay, now grab one of those little helmets and slide it onto the front. If it fits, keep it. But if it doesn't, I'd recommend keep wrapping until it really fits well. Now I'm putting head cement, which is not what I'm using to actually secure the head on, but I'm going to take super glue. I know some people say that's cheating in fly tying, but sometimes you have to use it. So I'm using super glue, so I'm going to hold the head on there until the super glue actually secures. Now, like I said about the eyes, they do fall off, but it is fun to have them because they do give it a really cool look. So I'm going to take off these eyes, make sure there's no hairs in the way. But take off the eyes, and I would add super glue even though there is an adhesive on the eyes because they just don't tend to stick very long. So there's my mom telling me breakfast is ready. So that is the fly. That is the end of the fly, and thank you so much for watching. Stay till the very end to watch me with my little recording studio. Welcome to my recording studio.